Hi, how are you? I'm wondering about my Wi-Fi actually. Um, I'm on 4G. I think there's a huge massive storm blowing basically. Huge massive storm blowing outside my window at the moment. There's no Hank the Hawk. Or there's a few fantastic suggestions by the way for the Hawk. For those who don't know, hello. Welcome to Babbles Travelling Yarns. I should know how to say it. Other people have difficulty, not me. Also, I've just curled my hair, but it's kind of getting in my face, so I think I might do this little bad boy. So hi and welcome. Welcome tonight. Thank you so much for joining me. 8 people, oh gorgeous. And yeah, so there is a few bits which I was going to talk about. Sorry now, my nails are actually annoying me as well. My hair is just ridiculous. So, I didn't get out of bed until like 2 o'clock today. It was absolutely gorgeous. Thank you. The hair. I tried mousse. It's just a boots mousse. It's nothing fancy really, but I tried it. Hello from New York. Hello, New York. I think we've got Germany. We've got Canada, Las Vegas. Do you know, I meant to do so much prep for this. But anyway, because what I wanted to do, yeah, it was a glorious Sunday because the weather was miserable. You couldn't have gone outside anyway, so like there was no point. But I meant to, look, I might leave the rest of it now until next. But I wanted to do a Q&A, and the Q&A is on this phone. Hi Bernadine, how are you? Bernadine, do I owe you a prize? I think you got one from Mars, didn't you? No, that's all right. It's Veronique. That's who I owe a prize to. But yeah, so I was meant to do a Q&A, and there was a couple of fantastic questions actually. A lot of it about spinning and things like that. So I might just, if you could hold on for a minute, I might get my laptop and see if I can get those questions up for you, and then we'll start. This is my massive bag of fibre. And I am going to, so I have a couple of bits that I have to do. Thank you very much. A couple of rolags that I have to do for Veronique, and these are some of the ones that I started with, and I think she wanted kind of oranges and blues. Now hopefully she'll actually come on and she can help me with her choice if she wants to. That'd be great. This one I started showing someone how to spin, I think. It was a demo one. And then these ones I made at the retreat. But so look, we'll get into the blending first, and then we can talk about the Q&A. I might do the Q&A as a separate thing, but if you did ask a question, at all in my story on Instagram, you can find me on Instagram, by the way, as Grace the Babbler, and I do a lot of stories and reels and things on that. So hello from British Columbia, Canada. Beautiful. Hi from Michigan. I know the hair is real bouncy, isn't it? It's just done. Fresh. So Heather says she spun from Rolex for the first time and you're sold. Love to spin from them now. They are so nice. So I'll just show you some of these. These are a few that I made at the knit night. So a little bit of purple at this end and a little bit of green, kind of lime greens and yellows. So they would spin up really cute. You know, when you get like a continuing, you could actually spin one of these up, then another one, and then spin them together, and you'd probably maintain your colors. That'd be really sweet actually. So rolags, basically, what are they? So they are round bundles of fibre, and they are formed on a blending board, and you spin off the end, comme ci, comme ça, like this. So you can either spin it straight from the way it is, or you can pre-draft the whole thing. Now pre-drafting means basically pulling it out and separating out, because sometimes if you spin, it can trap the fibers and pull a lot, so you'll get really thick yarn. So if you want skinny yarn, you basically either really control your rolag, or you pre-draft it by literally pulling it. See the way it's kind of satisfying to watch, to pull it. Now, there's a specific type of yarn that you're going to get from this, and it's called a worsted weight. Yeah, or worsted yarn, not the weight. In America, they have a weight of yarn, like the thickness, which is called a worsted thickness. But that word actually has two meanings. So you've got the worsted, the weight, and then the worsted in the method of how it's spun. So when you're spinning, you've got two ways generally of doing your spinning, which is one is worsted and one is, why can't I think of it? Bernadine, help me out here. Worsted and woolen, sorry, woolen. This is woolen, so this is going to be woolen. That's what I'm talking about, I'm sorry. So worsted, I think I got it all backwards. Thank you, Linda. So this is actually, yes, woolen. So you've got woolen spun yarn and worsted spun yarn. So, and that is all to do with how the fibers are laying as you spin them. So if all your fibers are laying straight down and they're all in the same direction, like the way these come, actually, these colors come as a top, roving or a top. But you can see, if you look up nice and close, all those fibers are kind of lying in the same direction. They're all lying straight, right? Now it doesn't mean like true worsted means that you're taking it from the sheep and you're spinning it either from the lock tip end or the body end, and you're doing that the whole way through. So I think, is it from the tip end you can actually smooth the yarn, and because wool has these little hooks actually on the fiber itself, microscopic hooks, and that's what allows it to grip onto the yarn as you spin it, and also allows for felting. So in worsted, what you're doing is you're trying to actually flatten down those hooks. I know the color's nice, isn't it? So you're trying to spin the hooks in and then flatten them down, so you get a really shiny, strong yarn, and it doesn't have much stretch or bounce because you haven't trapped much air in it, because you've literally squished out the air in the way you've spun. This is a technique of spinning as well, to do with worsted. It's all a bit. And a mill is either set up for worsted spinning or woolen spinning, basically, and it involves an extra few machines to make a worsted, because all the fiber has to all lie on the same plane, whereas woolen, you can kind of throw any fiber in there and it'll kind of work its way through. So what we're going to be dealing with, and what you get from the rolags, is woolen spun yarn, because if you look as we're pulling it apart, all those fibers are going all different directions. They're wrapped around each other, and when you spin them, the air is going to be trapped, so you get a light, bouncy a yarn which isn't very shiny. You get that lovely shine from the worsted or silk, you know. But if you're dealing with wool, you get a really shiny, kind of thin, strong yarn, really good for socks, you know, kind of hard wearing. Whereas this is excellent at heat retention because you've got that extra insulation, right? So yeah. So that is basically, you get like a bouncy yarn. It's really good for jumpers. It's really good, to be honest, you can use anything for anything, but if you wanted to specifically use something for, you know, it's really good for knitting. Now, worsted yarn is really good for weaving for a warp of a weft, because it's very strong, and because you've kind of smoothed down those little hooks, and it's quite a slick kind of yarn. When you're beating up and down, the threads don't get shredded and they tend to not to break as much. Whereas if you were to use a woolen thread, it's not as hard wearing, so it would it would probably break. As well, differences is the woolen might, I don't know necessarily about the pilling effects. I know people are quite like concerned about pilling effects and stuff. I imagine, I'm not sure. I'd like to get some more research on which one is worse for pilling or which isn't. Hi from Ashland, Oregon. Hello, how are you? Welcome to my little house. The storm is absolutely blowing a gale. Storm Eunice, I think it is. And I'm on the west coast of Ireland, and we're kind of the first coast that gets hit with all these kind of tropical storms, and they end up just being kind of hurricanes up here. So the storm season has started. So that's what a rolag, that's how you spin a rolag basically, and that's what you get out of a rolag. But what we're doing today is we are going to make a few. So this is kind of a messy up one, and this is one that's neat and tidy and pretty. They're so pretty. And I love it when they're like this. Oh, like little snails. Oh yeah, that's nice. So yeah, so I'm going to talk about my blending board now. Hello, cold blue skies in Colorado. Oh, beautiful. So I have a kind of a butchered, not a butcher, well, technically it's a butcher's block, but it's kind of a Frankenstein blending board. Someone's asked there, revived yarns. I love making and spinning with rolags. I've got about 45 I made before my spinning wheel arrived and working through them. Ooh, that's lovely. Is it all the one color, or have you got loads of different colors? Because I think the thing I love about rolags the most is the colors. So nice. You can really get really fancy with it. But basically, you can buy a ready-made blending board. You can. I think they cost about 90 euros or something, and then shipping and stuff is probably 100 euro. And what I did was I got, actually it's just a butcher's block chopping board, and you can order the actual carding fabric, and you can order it in like just the size you want, which is normally a blending board size. They'll give you the option. I got it from Ashford, and I got it from, I think I ordered through This Is Knit in Ireland. Hi, Christina. So the fabric itself is very specific. So it's got a rubber mat, and it's got loads of these little barbs. I don't know how many barbs I have now, but if you see, there's a little, every single one of them they come out and then they are bent in one direction. And that's very specific because you need the little barbs, the little teeth need to grab onto the fiber as you're putting it on, but also they need to come off cleanly when you're rolling them off. So it is worth, investing in the fabric. I think it was about 48 euros, maybe a little bit less, including shipping, I'd say. And the chopping board was like 15 euros or something. So I think I got it for about, I think I saved about 40 euros on it by making it up myself. I had a staple gun. This is one of the upholstery staple guns, and I had that at home anyway, so I was able to just whack away at that, and it worked really well. There's no glue on this or anything. I just literally stapled it all the way around, if you can see that. No, and then so that's the board where you put your fiber on. Then you need something to put it, to help you kind of pack down the yarn. Now I tried a couple of different options. I tried a couple of different paint brushes, but I actually got one of these plaster brushes. It's like hard polyester bristles, and they're quite densely packed. Now, I think anything harder than this, and you'd actually pull it off with you, they need to be able to be slightly flexible. It is actually, Christina, it probably would do a good bat, but it's hard to get it off. It's just like one bat. And I'll show you as we go through how it actually works at blending and combing itself through as I'm pulling it off. It's quite nice. This is the standard size of all blending boards, because the fabric is built that way. They sell it in the measurements of a blending board. Yeah, so I found this, I don't know, I went into B&Q and I got it for about €5, €6, something like that. It's a plaster brush. It's a wallpapering brush. Plastering, wallpapering. I find it really good because it's quite hard and you know you can tap it down, but also it is a little bit flexible for when you just need to lay things down. It's quite nice. So you kind of brush that on. And I'll show you how I do all of this now in a second, but I just want to go through all the bits first. And then I also had huge knitting needles. So these are ponies and they are size 9 millimeter. I don't know what that is in American terms. Big. To be honest, there's no specific size. Like you could actually, as you're in getting the wallpaper brush, I was actually looking at the dowels, the wooden dowels. You can use those too. The only thing is they have to be quite you wouldn't really want them to be rough at all because you are going to slide, like you're going to slide off the rolag at the end. So if you find that the only ones you can get are kind of rough ones, I'd say give it a little sand before you start, and maybe even a little varnish. Or I don't know about you, but I had these lying around for years. So these are now my rolag making needles. I remember I had a size 15 millimeter needle as well. They'd be great as well. Because I do find that these make very dense ones, but I think I'm just taking off all the fabric, all the fiber at once. Whereas you can actually take it off in increments and kind of have lighter, easier to work with rolags that way. So yeah, you need 2 of them, 2 dowels or 2 knitting needles, a brush to help you tap down and put on the weight, a chopping board, and the actual fabric, the blending fabric. This is the same blending fabric that goes on to all of the blending wheels as well. Drums. That's it. Sorry, my words are not great today. It's a total Sunday. I've literally just done nothing, relaxed. I'm working tomorrow, but we got these like Heineken Zero beers because the taste is kind of nice. But I also hate being hungover, so I got a taste for them during the knit nights actually. 'Cause we all drive to the knit nights and they've got loads of non-alcoholic beers and ciders and stuff, and it's lovely. Loving it. See now, I don't know, psychologically, I might relax a bit more. So, what I want you to do is I want you to vote for what colours. What do you think my first rolag should be? And we'll work through that. So I just want one colour and just pop it out there and I'll pick whichever one I have. I have a lot. So I've got loads of darks, loads of lights. I've got pinks, purples. I've got the whole rainbow here. So I've got yellows, green. Oh, green. Green and purple. I love that. Okay. Anyone else? Oh, I must try those. Aqua. Oh, I have an aqua. I kind of like a teal. I feel like I'm overusing the teal because I love teal so much. I got this silk. I'll throw this in. That'll be lovely, won't it? Okay. Let's start with that and let's see where we go. Oh, this green is nice. And there's only that much of it, so I'll use that. Nice. Okay, so what I like to do is put some of the bright colors down on first because they're the ones that are going to be on the outside. So they're the ones, like if you see on this one here, I put like oranges and reds and then I put blue. But if you look on the inside, there's actually a lot of blue, but it's hidden by the oranges. So these are kind of ones made by a friend of mine. So kind of a bit of inspiration. And you can see she really stripes it out just gently. And then inside there's kind of a lot of white. So what we might do is, do I have the white? We'll see. we'll see how much I have. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust the camera and so we can see what we're at. So you can see what I'm at and I can see what I'm at. So just give me a minute because I might have to adapt it with the little yoke my bobber. Oh no, where's the yoke? I do have 2 of those keys, but I don't know. Allen keys, you know. I don't know where the other ones go. Aha, I do. All right, so I need it to come out and over. I need it to come up. Switch it around now. You're going to see this horrible desk. It's absolutely outrageous. Oh. Okay. How's that? Look at that. Oh, sorry, I'm just looking at the rest of it. So this is what we're going to be at. And I'll just secure that in place. Okay, good. Now, so first off, I'm going to do the brighter colors, which I'm going to do this kind of bright green. I'm not going to use too much. I'm really going to be gentle with these. Green people. Lovely. I love all these suggestions. This is lovely. We'll try other colors now after this. So I'm just going to take off just a little staple length. That's all I'm going to do. I really like being kind of light-handed with these at the start. Excuse me. And I'm just going to push it against my belly. Well, I'm not going to actually, because then you won't be able to see it because it'll be angled away. But so I just, yeah, it's nice. So while I'm doing this, I was thinking about, I'm kind of remembering some of the questions actually people had. So I might answer those as I'm kind of just tipping away at this because it kind of becomes a bit obvious what I'm doing after a while. But somebody asked me, in November, I started doing these writing sprints because I am in the middle of doing I'm about 10 or 12 years into writing a book. And I get spurts of inspiration, and didn't I have a lovely spurt of inspiration there? But yeah, so I'm going to leave it at that for the minute. Sure, I'll just throw that little bit on. It's only a little bit. Yeah, so I do want to get back into it, but I really just have to be. I'm finding it hard to get up in the morning at the moment. I think it's the winter. It did me in, but I really enjoyed it when I was doing it. But I feel like there's a lot going on at the house, and I feel like I need to sort that out before, because this is my cleaning. This is my room space where I do all my writing and everything, and it's just so full of shit. I can't concentrate. Anyway, so this is what I'm going to do now. I'm going to get this wallpapering brush, and now I'm not going to take it from the top and pull, because I'll actually I'll take it off from the top here, if you can see it. So I'm actually just going to stamp it into it. See the way it comes off? So we'll stamp and then kind of pull with a little bit of a, you know, a kind of a tapping and drag, a tap and drag. Yeah, tap and drag. There we call it that. And it tends to stay down quite nice. Now you will get a little bit coming off, but that's okay. So you stab it down first and then do a little tap and drag as you come down. And that just gets those bits down. So what you want is these little fuzzy bits off the end, because they're the bits that you're going to grab and roll up. Okay. So someone else then asked me, they had a brilliant question about beginner knitting. That was it, yeah, beginner knitting. Or no, sorry, beginner spinning. And they wanted to know this is a classic question. Everybody asks, what type of fibre should I start on? And I'm like, right, okay, this is a great question. A lot of people have a lot of opinions on it. Does anyone have a good idea? What would you recommend? Because for spinners, I'm always fascinated to hear their point of view and their kind of, because it's actually it's so wide ranging, and honestly, it depends what you can get a lot of the time. Like in the States, it'd be hard now to get a Galway fleece, but and for me, it's very hard to get targy. So as a starter fleece, for me, I would stay away for not a fleece now. You'll end up with loads of fleeces if you are a beginner. Because the second you start saying it, you'll have farmers coming out of the woodwork going, "Oh my God, I can't get any money for it. Will you take it?" And then you'll end up taking it because you'll feel sorry for them, but they don't know what they're giving you, and you don't know what they're giving you. So hold off on buying the fleeces now, because they'll just end up breeding moths in your garage. Ask me how I know. So so I kind of tend to stay away from the merino for my first spinning. It's very slippy and it's lovely, but it is quite slippy and it can be not your friend. My first fleece was a merino fleece, but only because I didn't know any better, and I actually got it from the farmer. Absolute nightmare. It was so short. The fibre on merino is quite short coming off the sheep, which is great for machinery when they're making high quality merino products, but they weren't like spinning sheep, specifically for spinning. They were going to sell it to, kind of all those big Patagonia and clothing companies who make the merino vests and stuff. Because I was in Australia and it's big industry down there. So I tend to stay away from it. It's quite slippy. You don't want slippy when you're starting, because you'll end up, breaking it the whole time. You'll feel crap. And it's not you, it's the yarn. I promise. So I recommend getting something more sticky, getting something more woolly and sheepy. I really like Shetland to begin, actually. Or Romneys are quite nice. Does anyone have any recommendations there? I'll see. Everyone told you to start with Cardale. Love Cardale. Absolutely love Cardale. However, again, a little bit slippy for my taste. Because it's a beautiful, beautiful yarn to spin. So a white cottage. Oh, Susan was a beautiful Romney. Yes, the Romney's gorgeous, and Zwartels is absolutely beautiful as well, because it's more coarse, not coarse, but it's thicker. It's a thicker width of fibre. Merino tends to be between 14 to 16. I think Zwartels, is it like an 18 to 20? I'm not sure, actually. I can't remember. And Romney has the long staples, which make it much, 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 much easier to spin. Love a long staple. Someone said BFL. Love that. Very, very good. BFL, really nice. Again, a little bit more crimpy, a little bit more, little stickier, and nice long staple. So you want a long staple and quite woolly, so it'll stick together. Some fabric, some roving, it's just stunning, and it literally just it'll just spin itself, literally all you need is to start twisting it and it'll just do it. So try out a lot of things. Don't be stuck with just the one thing. You can get lovely starter packs from a lot of places. If anyone has any recommendations in the chat, I can't remember the name of it now. There's a lot of them in the UK that do starter packs. This is the problem with silk. It'll just, it loves human contact. Static, it's the static in it. I don't know if this is silk. It's not silk. It is World of Wool. That's the shop I was talking about, World of Wool. So that is a great place. They have lovely starter packs. Now I got all of this now before Brexit, so we're talking pre-customs here. But really lovely stuff in World of Wool. Quite cheap as well, reasonable prices. And you can get small little sample bags that don't cost you too much. I don't know how much that was, maybe 14 euros or something for that much silk. A-grade mulberry silk from the Mediterranean. I mean, that's pretty nice. Beautiful. I think about €14 not including packaging. I got a few bits together, you know, make it worth my while. Yeah, what else now? What else would be a good starter? Do you know what? A mix with silk is actually a very good idea, because you have, even like say if you have your merino with silk or BFL and silk, because the silk also, if you saw it there, sure, this is actually, it's a very long staple length. So when that's blended in with another wool, that long staple length will help you kind of, and it's very strong as well. It's very, very strong. So it allows you to kind of have that little bit of leeway when it's doing a few bits, when you're kind of putting through. If you're having a bit of trouble with the wool, the actual, this silk in the blend will help you kind of make sure it doesn't break or anything like that. What do I do here? I'll do it in the middle. I don't really like doing silk at the edges of things, because if you get a chunk of it in a rolag, it can whip out of your hand real fast. So I do, and it is quite difficult to not get a giant lump on it. I think I'm holding it too tight because it's so slippy. Yeah, I definitely wouldn't be touching silk on its own now as a first one, because it'll just fly out of your hands. So don't even try with that. Jacob is stunning. Absolutely stunning yarn to start with. Oh my god, the colours you can get out of it. It spins so easy. It's lovely and woolly and tactile. And it literally wants to hold on to itself. It's kind of very sticky, lovely wool. Really nice in rolags actually, because it's lovely to spin Romney woolen, because it's really airy and bouncy. Same with Targi, I think. Dorset, is that a down breed? Because again, down breeds are lovely to spin, again because of that kind of bouncy kind of what's it called, nature to them. You know, they're nice kind of to have woolly wool. They're great in jumpers and things like that, which is always where I go. Morit, oh lovely. Shetland, beautiful. Do you know what? Even those Shetland fleeces, I would just take one just to play with. You know, it's probably not, they're not probably, if it's free, it is free. I agree with Jacob too. Some in Ireland. There are some Jacobs in Ireland. Absolutely lovely. Rambouillet, beautiful. Rambouillet now is actually a French relative of merino sheep. Very similar, stunning wool, but again, very slippy. I don't know if I'd advise it for a beginner, but you know what? You never know. Sometimes, like the first thing I spun was a merino, and sure, I didn't know any better, so I just got on with it. So, but I would recommend getting one of those fleece packs and kind of just spinning your way through it and seeing which one you like, and then you can get a full fleece of something or get a full bag of the stuff of the roving or whatever. The natural colour of Jacob is stunning. Oh yeah, the dark chocolate is so pretty. One of my friends, Veronica, she made a beautiful sweater. No, she made a beautiful kind of long coat, and she basically made it colour work, but it was all from the same sheep. I don't know if it was all from the same sheep. I'm gonna say it is, because they're actually quite small little animals. But you might need to make what she made. She made a beautiful, huge coat, but she had this colorway going through it, and it was mostly dark brown, but she had like colorways of grey and white, and it was all from the same batch of wool, because it all came off the same sheep. So you're able to do color work of the same sheep into a garment. Oh, I love that. I love that idea. Now, we do mauve or we do bright purple? What do you think? What else do I have? I'll just throw it out on the ground. I don't have that much pink, actually. Well, these are my other pinks that I can use. Little bits there if I wanted to put them in to make it a nip. What do you think? What do we think? The mauve, this one. Yeah, we'll try that and we'll see how we go. Save those. They're pretty. I'm going to start using up the ones I have. We'll start with that. And we'll do I'll start putting on a bit heavier now. So that's kind of the accent fiber, the accent colours. Pink and grey. Ooh, that would be nice. I've got this kind of browny, mushroomy colour. This will mess this up completely. Alright, so I'm going to actually put in more fibre into this now. A chunky chunk. Because it literally melts into it. There we go. And again, but you want to keep a little bit of the board through because you want to be able to see the, you know, the darker colour coming through as well. So I'm doing it in stripes like that just to kind of show a nice colour for that. And then I'll put this one on. This is kind of, I really love this kind of royal blue. It's delicious. And then I'll put a bit of the, I'll just whack the lightest pink on there. Just a little streak. Oh, yeah. And then we'll just put this on the outside, the darkest. I do like to have the darkest colour on the inside of the Rolag, just because it brings out the other colours quite a lot. Or if you're doing a white, you know, you have to kind of blend it out. Now you can also do a couple of layers as well. Sorry, no, that one just didn't lay down at all. You can do a couple of layers of this, you know, shove it in, see how you go. We've been watching a lot of Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I could have said something else there. Just in case any children are watching. Even though it's not made for kids, YouTube, you made me say that. But they can watch. Get a bit more of this. This is going to be really interesting. So, right, so I think we spoke about, you know, all the beginning fibres, but I'd say get your hands on some top to start with and then see where you go from there. Now, the other question that she had was a fabulous question about spindles and what type of spindle to get as you're starting out. How does the weight of the spindle affect the yarn that you're going to get? And I was like, this is actually a very smart question. And tell me if I'm wrong on this, but my understanding of it is the heavier the spindle, the thicker the yarn is going to be. You need a thicker yarn in order for the yarn not to break. So the heavier the spindle, the thicker the yarn, the lighter the spindle. I've got a beautiful small little tiny little spindle, and it's got a little stone that's actually been created to form the size, and it's quite small, and I can spin very, very, very thin on that one. But anything heavier than that, you know, I can spin a cobweb on that tiny little spindle. Or, you know, the 3D printed Turkish spindles, you can spin super thin on those. And then, yeah, so it's to do with the thickness of the yarn, the size of the yarn. Now you can adjust it as well by applying or just adding more fibre, but I think in general that's the gist. What do you all think? Am I right or am I wrong? Do you know what? I've kind of covered everything here, so I'm not going to add the grey, but I am going to add a little bit of this brown just to give it a bit of depth. You know, you want to have a few little bits of contrast in there as you're spinning it as well. So it's nice to have a little bit of a depth, and I love how dark background makes colours pop. It just makes it so good. I kind of, when I'm making these, I kind of try and decide, is it going to be backed in dark or is it going to be backed in light? Because to have both, well, you'll kind of end up with a big barber pole situation, I think. Unless you want that, and that's totally fine, but... Okay, I think we're nearly ready to pull off here. We've done quite a lot. There's quite a lot on it. I mean, ideally I'd be weighing them all. But here we go. So I wanted to just double check if there's any other questions. Yes. Okay, so here we're gonna go. So can you, because everyone see the bottom of it there? Yeah. This is where the action happens. I'll put that away. I'll take one of these for courage. About the spindles. Oh yeah, someone has a question. I think yes, to an extent, it has to do with the thickness. But in my experience, the biggest difference is that the lighter spindles usually spin fast. Yes, they do spin faster. They do spin faster, which means that you can get a higher twist and you can go faster. But again, that can be hard to control if it's your first one. I don't know the weights now off the top of my head, you know, because some of them are like, but I get mine from my beginner ones from World of Wool. Do I? Oh God, I can't remember anymore. No, I get them from Wingham Woolworks in the UK. And they tend to be all the same size. I can't remember, is it 25 grams or something? That number is just sticking to me now, but anyway. Okay, so here we go. So what I've done is I've just flipped up the little fringe here, and I've just tucked it in underneath and just sat it on that ledge. Everyone see that? 35 to 50 grams is a good weight. Yeah. So you get more twist in less time, which helps. Yeah. I totally agree. That's a really good point. I completely forgot about that. Thank you. Thank you, Hive Mind, or Saskia. So what I'm doing is I'm sandwiching the fibre, and I'm actually putting the opposite ends of the needles, because if you put them both here, it can be quite tricky to fiddle around because this is looser, so you'll get one side of the rolag smaller than the other. So I just like to balance it out. I don't know if I'm right or wrong doing that, just feels better. So the next thing then is kind of to get my knee up on it. Because I'm going to be pulling it towards me, right? So you're sandwiching it quite tight. And I'm just going to roll it under. And then I'm holding it with my thumbs. And I've got my knee there as well. Oh, sorry, it's in black. No, you can't really see my knee. And I'm literally just going to pull. So you don't just lift it off. I'm actually combing it through as I take it off. Just so there's no little knots. And then as you see, it comes up. This is why the plastic, I don't know if it's a good idea or not, because it does bend. I'd like to try the rolag, the dowels, just to see. So if you're seeing like this big chunks, like this little blue, that's nice though. I'm getting real Halloween vibes off of this. Will I take the whole thing, or will I? No, I'll just take a third of it. Okay, I'll take that much. And then when you're coming off, you lift it and then do a quick pull, because you need to get under there again. So then you've got this little soft fringe, so you literally just smooth it around with the hand. Smooth it around. And there you have our first communal rolag. So now you need to get it off. And this is when it's quite handy to have the ends either side as well. So I literally pull both sides and see which comes first. Yeah, this one. Okay. There we go. And the other one will just come off. So this is quite a light one. Quite nice. Oh, super Halloween vibes. Isn't that cute? I'll pop that there. so you can see. It's adorable! So now I'm gonna just literally get the teeth in under. Pop it up. Lovely. Ooh, what are we gonna do next? Okay, so you want to get like a few rounds on it just to make sure it's held, so you can see the teeth marks here. So I'm just gonna comb it out. Comb it out. Now that's gonna comb and that's gonna bring all of this with it, so I'm just gonna boop. Okay, good. Yeah, I took out a big chunk. Chunky wonk there. Now I could also comb it on here. Which would probably be better. You get a better finish on it. But anyway, I've done it now. We'll do it on the next one. But you still need just a little hand around with the hand. There we go. There's another one. These are actually so cute. I think they're just adorable. Oh. That's not too bad. Alright, this is the last bit here. I'm just want to get up the last little schmickereens. So as you can see, there's more fibre in the middle. And I'm not sure whether I'm not because it's the needles which are quite flexible, or whether it's that I just put more on it in the middle. So I didn't grab enough of the side there, so I'm just gonna. Do you know, I've got that Encanto reel bit. Mariano's on his way. She told me that the man of my dream. There we go. Satisfying. Now, I generally don't go to the right to the end, because as you can see, they're kind of getting caught there, which will mean there'll be knots. So, you know, that's just going to be waste. Which I hate, but at the same time. You can still you can still get quite a lot. There we go. So this last one is quite nice to just comb on it. No, not too much. Just look at that blending. It's just so pretty. I'm definitely going to do another one of these where I'm actually spinning these. So maybe I could make a little series of making them, spinning them, and then knitting them, seeing what they came up with. Wouldn't that be nice? I'm so inspired. I really have just not been in any sort of mood to make anything for such a long time. And after my retreat, I was just like, stop this now, Grace, you need to cop on. And it was great. Like, it's absolutely fabulous. Let's make it a little triskel. Oh, they're so soft and squishy. Can you feel that? Can you see that? So squishy. So I'm just gonna see what. God, they look beautiful on camera, actually. Lovely. This one gives me the reason to hold on to straight needles I never use. I know. I want to see them spun up too. I always hold on to loads of shine. I have to go and sort out. Oh, my bloody. I have to sort out my bloody craft room. I have to pack it all up and everything. Right, I think. Should we do kind of like a browns? orangey, kind of sunrise situation, maybe. Maybe. Kind of getting that feeling. What else have I got down here? And like a deep blue. We could do like a deep blue fading to a teal. Or a, you know, something. I kind of like that idea. So I'm just going to pop these. I'm literally just going to hang them off a monitor. Wee-oo. The thing about these is they get fuzzy very easily. So once you make them, put them straight, like pack them straight away. Okay, so I'm thinking something like that, and then we'll move to like the bright sunshine, and then a mauve, and then maybe a rust, and a pink or a purple. What do we think? Would that be nice? Kind of have an urge now. Okay, great. Good, excellent. 2 people have voted yes, therefore it's happening. Thank you. All right, so this one's going to be slightly different. So we're going to do usually stripes and blend at the edges. So I just want to... Actually, this is great for this. Beep, 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 beep. Ba, 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 ba. Okay. I think I managed to get everything out. So this is about the waist that you're left with from 3 Rolags, which you could probably still spin. It's lovely and fluffy and light. Yes. Okay, so we'll start with, will I go, so that's kind of the sky, isn't it? Maybe I'll go, what will I do? I'm thinking now, I'm thinking. Because I could go sun, thing, pink, and then blue. Purple, blue. I might do like just a strip of brown at the bottom. Oh, this would be a lovely woven tapestry piece, wouldn't it? Okay. Oh, I think someone asked me about my sciatica earlier. Much better. Oh my God, I love my physio. So, whoop. So we're going to start with a little, the orange and the gold are beautiful, aren't they? Yes. So, oh gosh, I'll just get a really light smattering here, but I do want kind of like quite a sharp edge between the sun and the earth, I guess. So I'll just this is really like painting. It's so lovely. So because we're doing stripes, we're going to need to put quite a lot on. And I'm just going to tap that down just so it doesn't get in the way or blend too much with the next color when I'm putting it down, which is the yellow, whereas I'm going to need the blending as I go up because it'll be the sky and everything. Okay, number 1 color done. Great. Time for shot of yellow. Stunning. I used to be terrified of colour, absolutely terrified of colour. And then I went to knitting and I just fell in love with it. And then spinning has made me even more in love with it. I used to be a printmaker and I just used to draw line all the time, black and white and very pale or very muted colours. Just don't know what to do with them really. My clothes are still very boring, I think. I don't wear all my nice like bright colours, you know, or I do, I guess. It has made me braver knitting my own clothes. still gravitate towards the black the whole time. For just everyday wear, you know. There was a great question as well, someone else had, and I've forgotten it now. I've absolutely forgotten it. If anyone else has any questions about, oh, it was about weaving actually. I don't know if anyone here today has an interest in weaving, but someone was asking me what size should I get as a first time weaver, and I recommend getting the largest size you can for the budget and the space that you have. Honestly, that's where I stand now. I used to be at that, you can do pretty much anything with a 16-inch, and now I'm like, no, actually, I want a bigger one now. But I'm moving to a new house, so I might have a bit more space in the new house for this stuff. Whereas at the moment, I really don't have any space. And we hang the looms on the walls. They have to be pretty small, you know, in order for that to happen. So I'm not going to put too much of this. Oh, okay, I'm going to put that much, however much this is. So these have a little bit shorter staple than I'm used to, so you kind of have to grab them from the staple length, because otherwise they'll just slip out of your hand and be a big lump. So you're using your fingertips as a help to hold it down. Yeah, I'm actually looking to rent the Guild loom, the 24-inch table loom. I might even go for the floor loom altogether, and because I really want to make fabric that's just a little bit wider. I feel like I've done as much as I can with my 16-inch. I mean, I've gotten 3-4 years out of it, so that's great, like, you know, but I would like to try and do a little bit more like experimenting with twill and things, because that's a thing. Nope, this one next. I don't have any red actually, like scarlet red fibre. I must get some of that. This is really kind of Arizona kind of desert morning colors, isn't it? Just put another little chunk onto it. I remember Paradise Fibers used to do these videos. They'd be perfect for reels now, but it was all blending fibers, and I was just like mesmerized by it. Absolutely mesmerizing. Beautiful. Okay, so we'll go for the pink. Little shot of pink. And then we'll go for this little movie little sausage. I never know which way to start these. I'll just kind of give it a shot and try it out. Do you know what I'm going to do as well? I'm going to put this blue over the back. I'll see. Maybe I won't. What do you think? Should I? I wonder what it's going to look like. It's like painting. I must have a look at the comments now in a second. Sorry, I haven't looked at them in ages. I'm getting really into this. Should have put the mauve. Should have put mauve up near the blue. Ah, sure, look, it's It's looking so nice. Do you know what? I'm just gonna do a shot of this purple. Just a really gentle little wash of the purple. And then I'll do the deep blue. And then that should blend really nicely. I'm imagining it will anyway. Oh, I think I have black as well. Oh, that'd be so nice. Just to put a little... Oh, do you know what would be lovely if I had little white nips? They could be like stars. Oh my god. Doesn't that sound nice? I don't got no nips. I do have black though. No idea where this is. No, I think this might be from my friend Karina. She used to come to the knit nights as well. I think she had another baby. Life is just busy. So she's a doll maker. She's loads of lovely fibres for like felting faces and things, and it's kind of the closest place I can get these kind of fibres from. I'll throw in a bit of black, and that'll be delicious. So we'll have like a land and space sort of theme, which is so cute. What do I need? I have some Stellina, but I don't have it here. Oh, I'm getting so inspired though. I need to make up some more. I need to actually dye some more yarn for Sandra in the Irish Fibre Crafters. Susan, if you're still there, I know you've been using quite a lot of my yarn. Thank you so much. I've been watching, people have been telling me about your podcast actually. I haven't got around to watching it for a while, but it's lovely. I must make some more. Again, moving, I have to sort out all of that. Okay, what do we think? Are we ready? I think we are. I can feel there's quite a lot on this. I might need a bit more just here in this section. Yeah, it felt a bit thin on the ground there. So you want to make sure before you start pulling it off that it's all down, because you want all of the fibre to be brushed as you're pulling it. I'll have a look at the mess just now before I take it off. So you make it look so easy. I don't think my attempt would look so smooth. You don't know that, Carolyn. You don't know that. Oh yes, it was it yourself that did I answer you there for the loom? I like the for a beginner. I definitely would advise a rigid heddle, and the size, whatever size you can afford, and space. If you don't get a stand, -32, and I get a backache. Yeah, I know, I need to get a big stand as well. Isn't it difficult to start with a 24 inch? Not necessarily. You can literally you don't have to do 24 inches wide of fabric as a first try. You could literally, you know, the thing is, if you have the bigger the thing here, You don't have to warp it up to be full all the time. You could literally just put on 10 and start with that. So, but it gives you the opportunity to expand and try bigger things as you know, it doesn't have to be that exact size every time you make something. But the more space you have, the more options you have. What is the thing the roving is being put onto? This thing, Regina, is it is called a blending board, and it's actually a chopping board, which has the fabric with the little needles on it stapled on. I bought the fabric separate. I just bought, I just bought, I don't know, what is it, 1.5 or maybe a foot squared, something like that, and a chopping board from my local kind of kitchen supplies place. Cost about €40. Yes, Dr. Otto, thanks for that. Yeah, the price difference between a 40 centimeter and 80 centimeter is only like, yeah, exactly. It's not that much difference. Isn't that a wallpaper based brush from before? Cheaper the better. Yeah, this is a wallpaper brush, wallpaper paste. Absolutely, super cheap. You probably have one at home. Absolutely great. Needs to be clean. The Rolag will bring the sunrise for sure. Yes, I think it will. Yeah, Nevada, definitely. Thanks for all the advice on a loom size. Great. Is Mars there? Oh, hey Mars. I'm sure the brush is for, yes it is, sorry. Got my spindle out for the first time in well over a year. Fantastic. I know, listen, just keep at it. Don't worry. Right. You know, I know we all expect to be amazing the second we sit down at something. You know, you weren't amazing the first time you started reading or writing either, okay? But like, you know, I like to think, do you know what? We're learning the same as a child would learn. You've never done it before, but children are just so fearless. We need to be fearless again. We do. There's nothing to fear. We have nothing to lose. It's such a low, it's an incredible, especially spinning with a spindle. It is a very low cost risk enterprise. So don't worry about it. If you mess it up, it's fine. The sheep are always growing more wool. Always. Don't panic. Right. So here we go. Are we ready for pulling off? What's the wool? This is merino. Yes, Hearts and Crafts. This is merino. I actually got this at the Knitting and Stitching Show. I got a load of it from the Felt Makers Guild at the Knitting and Stitching Show. It's a DHG shop. Tops Lana Merino Extra Fine. So, and there's like, is that Russian? Lana, that's Spanish. So I don't know where it's from at all. DHG shop Italia. Oh, Italy. Okay. So they have loads of lovely stuff. So actually I might go online because I need to get red and I need to get, oh, I must see what they have. No, I mustn't. I am moving. I need to pack and I need to use this stuff. But I got it from the Felt Makers Guild, and you can also get it from Wing and Woolworks or wherever you're working. Really, it's a merino anyway. Merino is kind of the most common one for colors because it is extremely easy to dye and it is quite pretty as well to spin with once you've got the hang of it. Okay, so we're coming into the pull. So what I'm doing is I'll just go over this one more time actually. So I've got two big knitting needles. They're pony knitting needles for when I used to start out to knit, and 9mm. So if you've still got these hanging around or your granny has them, they're perfect. But you can also use dowels. You can just buy them in the hardware shop when you're gone in for your paintbrush, for your wallpaper paste brush, and get them cut to size, which is about the same size as, a little bit bigger than the board. Board is, I don't know what size it is now, to be honest, lads. I'd say, is that 1.5 foot? That's a foot, right-ish? 1.5 foot. I don't know what that is. But yeah, the whole thing I'd say, including the brush, needles I had. So the fabric itself, the carding fabric, that's what it's called. I've been looking for that name in my head for the past hour. The carding fabric cost about €40, €45, I'd say. And I think I got it from Wing and Woolwork, and it came like rolled up as its own thing. I had the staple gun at home, and I bought this chopping board. It's a butcher's block chopping board, and I just stapled it together. I think this was about maybe 20 euros. The needles and the wallpaper brush was probably about €6. So in total, I think the thing cost me, say, €60 all in. Whereas to buy a blending board, get it shipped like officially. Now it has a nice stand on it, but I can also just stand it up by tilting it off the edge of the, it's not a big deal. But I think it's about, is it 90 or 120 or £90, maybe €120 with shipping. So, I saved myself maybe €40. Oh, sure, look, every little penny counts. So, and I don't use it super often, like often enough to justify buying the proper one either, so, but this one works absolutely perfectly. I like having a nice solid heavy board because I'm going to be pulling this now, and I kind of need it to not slide around. I think what I'd like to do is actually get like a sticky, do you know those things where you're not moving, rugs, sticky bits? I think it'd be good to have those on this actually, just to help it not move. But anyway, so the way I move it, the way I take this off is I'm going to take it off in 3 pieces. I'm going to get 3 rolags out of this. I've got quite a lot of fibre on this, but I've sandwiched the yarn, the little ends of the yarn here, the fabric, sorry, fibre, between the 2 knitting needles, and I'm just rolling it on, and I'm just going to roll it up onto it. Okay, I'm going to sit there, and then I'm just going to get my thumbs to hold it in place and pull. Oop. And I'm pulling to blend the fibre as I go. Now, there's quite a lot of fibre on there, so I'm actually going to use my knee and my full hand. There we go. Coming off a bit easier there. This is where the non-sticky thing would be good actually. Now, these are going to be chunky boys. The more you kind of pull off, the more it's going to blend and look pretty on the Rolag. But again, you must remember that these are going to be spun too. So when these transition points are being spun, you're going to get a lovely blend of colours coming through, which is, I can't wait to try it actually. I want to spin it. So, do you know what we should be doing with this actually? I'm going to do 2 instead of 3, because what I want to do is, I want to keep the colours, the colour progression is very important, right? So when you're spinning it, you'll want to spin 1, spin 2, and then ply them together. Now I could do them as singles, 2, no problem, but which actually would be nice for weaving, because the warp would keep it nice and straight. You probably wouldn't get so much of a bias. You might still, but if I try my hardest to do a balanced single, but it's just easier for me to do 2 and then ply them together. So I'm going to do that. And then you'll get another little blend as well. All about blending. I'm going to pull off. Ooh. There we go. And we'll save it there. I'd say there's plenty on that. Ooh, can you hear that storm outside? It's intense. Check the leak downstairs. I think we've got a leak in our kitchen. Okay, so I'm just going to put this. Isn't that really pretty? This even looks bigger, even though it's not. It looks like the sun has kind of made it roundy. Ooh. Isn't that lovely? So pretty. I love these little snails. Snails. Right. Ugh, I can't believe I've got work in the morning. Ugh. Anyway. Okay. So I've got the rest of that up, and again I'm going to sandwich it. I like to put, like I said the first time, I like to put the knobs on either end so I get a nice even pull when I'm going. Just, I don't know if it's worth it or not, but again, I'm just getting my knee up there. I can't wait to see how these spin up. This might be lovely as a little yoke design or something. You know, to knit the colour work through. On a little baby sweater or something. I wonder how much is going to be at the end. I don't have my weighing scales up here actually. I'll get it the next time. There we go. Beautiful 2 sunrise rolags. And actually I love the way that black has kind of come through there. Isn't that nice? It gives you like that depth of the night. Oh, that pink. The pinky purple blend is so pretty. And this, oh my God, that pinky orange is, oh, delicious. Isn't that nice? Hiya. So there we go. So those two then are going to be spun up together ish. Isn't that lovely now? Now, do you know what I'm going to do now? I'm actually going to love you and leave you, but I'll leave you with a little shot of these. You know, I'll roll these up again because these don't really make a, you know, they're not a narrative. So they're just pretty colors. But they're quite soft compared to the 2 thicker ones. As in, like, they're not as thick, so actually they'll be quite nice and light to spin with. So you could actually even spin straight off of these. I don't think you'd need to pre-draft them, but these ones you definitely would. So what do you think? Did you enjoy that? I really did. I was only supposed to be on here for an hour. James is making toad in the hole downstairs. I'm starving, so I'm gonna go and have a little bite to eat. But I'll just have a little look there at the last ones. Hey Mars, beautiful colours. What is the wool? Yes, it is merino. Oh yeah, yes. There's Susan. It is super pretty. Off for Sunday naps. Oh yes, do it. I didn't get up out of bed until I can't remember what time I told you, but actually it was a lot later. 5 maybe. This is the Halloween and sunset. Yeah, we'll have to do them. Hope you spin them during another Sunday live chat. I think that'd be a great idea. I'd love to spin them. That's a great idea. Like taking the class. Excellent. Oh, I'm so glad you enjoyed it. I hope to. I think this is a nice little thing. That was really lovely. Yeah, do you know what? I will spin them up for you. Absolutely. Let's do it. Maybe next Sunday. I've got a wedding on Saturday, but sure, look, I'll be fine. I hopefully will be recovered by Sunday. Will we try it again at the same time? Does the same time work for you guys? The 6? Because it's kind of a nice time for me because I'm getting sleepy earlier. I've learned so much. Thank you a lot. Will you be streaming the spinning too? I'm hoping to. Yeah, if the time is good, that's great. Patty, lovely to have you. Absolutely brilliant to have you. Delish. Gorgeous, guys. Well, listen, have a lovely rest of your Sunday. Have a fabulous week until I see you again. And yeah, definitely. These are the other Rolags. So yeah, let's try spinning them next week and we'll see how we go. Hopefully I won't have packed up anything essential by then. You're glad you caught this, Slán. Slán Walia, Iwa. And nice and early down under. Oh, that's good. As long as it's not in the morning. Oh yeah, totes. I'll be hungover. Whereas for me, you're about to give birth to your first daughter. Oh my it's so exciting. Is it your first child or is just your first daughter? Oh, congratulations. I hope everything goes okay. If you give birth between here and then, you know, good luck. Keep breathing, breathe through it, and try and stay calm. Try and get all the nice things. And I hope you have someone lovely looking after you. All right, lads. Bye. Lovely chat.